KC Weather Lab. Here's Rob's forecast.
Welcome back. Well, some beneficial rains and storms moving across the area today as expected. Couple of sporadic spots of damage. We're going to talk more about that coming up in just a bit. But overall, the bulk of the rains are done with, but we could see a few more showers or storms pop up this evening, and we'll show you why right now. Let's take a look at that water vapor imagery and that upper level disturbance that brought the storms in, pretty much moving in on schedule and moving out nicely. Now, we do have a little bit of darkening right here. Going back through Texas, there's a little bit of an upper level disturbance that's sparking off some storms across eastern Texas. That may bridge off to the east-southeast over the next few hours, so we may not be completely done with the storms, but overall things are drying out. But there's still the risk of a few storms, probably between about 7:30, 8 o'clock tonight till about 9:30 or 10, and then things will be quieting down for sure. And that has been the trend this afternoon after some rough and tumble weather earlier today. In fact, we'll go to a 12-hour loop here of the showers and storms. They came in during the morning hours across central Louisiana. Then they built to the south and southeast. And again, some locally very intense downpours, frequent cloud-to-ground lightning, the whole 9 yards with healthy storms. And then a few spots with sporadic wind damage. And we'll show you this one cell that was in western Lafayette Parish. It produced a little bit of a downburst out ahead of it right here where you see this notch right here. This is where the wind damage was reported, and basically we had winds dropping down to the ground, and when they do that and they hit the ground, sometimes they swirl out. Or they swirl out in this direction. But anyway, it produced a little bit of a vortex, and that's the video we got for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we call a gustnado. Notice it's not raining. Watch this area right here. There's a swirl, and you see some debris flying, and then that debris hits that telephone pole, and enough of mass got in the air. Might have been just 40 or 50 mile-an-hour winds, maybe 60 mile-an-hour winds, and you can see that swirl moving on, but not really a tornado, so we call that a gustnado as the winds come down on the ground, and sometimes the building shape into the trees will help get a swirl going, and that's what we saw earlier today. So interesting weather phenomenon. It's rarely that we catch that on video, so some cool stuff this afternoon. Overall, though, the last vestiges of the rain's pretty much out of St. Mary Parish, and it's going to stay quiet this evening. Rainfall quite beneficial. Some spots catching a ½ inch or an inch of rain, other spots catching several inches of rain, so kind of staving off the drought a little bit. It's been quite dry, so much needed rainfall, and we're going to have a dry pattern from here on out. Here's predictive radar. Still going with good storms at 7 o'clock. This is 45 minutes from now, so we don't think that's actually going to happen, but still the risk of a few showers or storms up until about 10, then things quiet down, and then some fog develops through tomorrow morning with all that moisture on the ground and temperatures and dew points close together. So finally, our frontal boundary pushes out to the Gulf of Mexico, then it gradually dissipates. Could see an isolated storm tomorrow afternoon, southwest Louisiana, but again, the model not showing much, so rain chances down into the 5% range, and it stays high and dry into Thursday. So showers and storms ending already, clearing skies and that fog coming in through daybreak. 70 the low tomorrow, back to the heat and humidity, mostly sunny skies, maybe an isolated storm southwest Louisiana, but not likely. Rain chances low for the rest of the week into the front end of the weekend. Then they should perk up as we go into next week, and maybe a pretty good chance of daily rain and storms come the middle part of next week. Overall, typical summer pattern, and be grateful for the rain that we have. It's not enough, but at least it was the best rains we've seen going back to mid-April, believe it or not. So almost 2 months without a good rainfall today. At least we got some.
We sure did.